I am so happy to be part of this collaboration. And I'd like to tell you who else is doing the same subject video, and that is Lisa from Sutton's Day, Our Half Acre Homestead, Linda's Pantry, Tu Lou Creates, Jenny Go, and myself, Prepper Potpourri. And we're all talking on today, Monday, October 12th, on what I will and what I will not can again. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see if we have any overlap. And I bet in some cases we'll have somebody say they'll never can something again, and somebody else will say they will. So I think it will be interesting to share this vast amount of canning knowledge. So let's get started. Well, I've kind of separated mine in categories, and I'm starting with meat. And I have to be honest, one of my problems with canning meat is it very often tastes like the canned meat you buy in the store. Think of the beef roast in Dinty Moore's, right? Beef stew. It's a little bit tasteless, and that can happen when you're canning. But I do have some favorite meats to can. Let me show you. One thing I really like, chipotle beef. This is a recipe that was in the ball book, and it is using beef roast and a lot of good spices and garlic and a beef sauce here and onions, and this is wonderful. You drain it and you can make tacos with it or any other dish that you want. Some beef that has a little bit of zest to it is the way I describe it. This is delicious and my family loves it. Now, okay, I have to say this is not part of accepted canning, but I do like canning bacon, and I especially like putting some maple syrup on it, so I end up with maple bacon. And it's so nice to have this on my shelves, because when my grandkids come over, they expect bacon and fresh eggs from the chickens for breakfast. So just in case I run out, I always have canned bacon. Now the one thing I didn't bring up here, because really I need to can it again because we went through it, is pulled pork. I think pulled pork, especially if you put it in a barbecue sauce, just about tastes exactly the same. The texture is the same, the flavor is the same. It's just absolutely delicious. So in meats, what will I not can again? Well, I canned ground beef once, and I wasn't that happy with it. To me, it got a little tasteless, and the texture was different. Now, I should try what Needy Homesteader has. She does it in an onion soup broth, and maybe that will be fine. But to me, canning changes the texture of ground beef, even if you brown it beforehand or not. It just isn't the same. Now, I do can it in, this is taco meat, ready to go. And it's okay. I can fool my family. They have no idea it came out of a can, and it's just fine for them. But yet, I still notice a texture difference. I'd love to know if any of you have, what you think of ground beef when you can it. Does it taste the same to you? Maybe it's just me. Oh, and the worst meat, I don't have it because, of course, I'm not going to can it anymore. Okay, my husband is Polish and loves kielbasa, and we have special markets we go to get the homemade type kielbasa, and it's just fantastic. Well, once I thought, wouldn't it be nice to always have that, and I canned it. Now, it wasn't that it tasted bad. It just didn't taste like the original kielbasa. It tasted like a different kind of sausage, and it was, to me, a little bit disappointing. And so you have to be careful when you would be canning such a sausage, kind of a mixture, that it doesn't change. The texture was fine, it just, the taste wasn't there. So I will not can kibas anymore. I'll just put it in my freezer. Okay, next, my favorite things to can is definitely soups and stews. And what's my favorite soups? Well, actually oxtail is probably my favorite, but for canning and having it taste just like the original, I have to admit that it's this. Yeah, looks kind of ugly, doesn't it? It is pea soup, but it is delicious. The ham in it is fantastic. I love to make pea soup with a honey ham bone. So like at Christmas time or Easter, I ask at work, anybody, having that for their dinner? I'd love to have your bone. I mean, it makes a great broth, but I love pea soup and bean soup. Again, I often make it with that honey ham bone, and it just gives it such a great flavor. But this tastes the same as if I was making it that day. Both of these have fantastic flavor. You'd never know they were canned. And there's one more like that, and that is my French onion soup. I have a video if you're interested. This is just fantastic. You open it up, right? You put some croutons on it and a little maybe Gouda cheese on top. Melt that cheese on top, and you have an absolutely delicious supper. Again, tastes just like the real thing. You wouldn't know it was canned. But I can a lot of soups and stews. And, be it, I'm making a big turkey tomorrow, so leftovers, I will probably be canning turkey soup. I mean, it tastes great, but the meat isn't quite the same. And again, maybe that's just me. But my family loves the soups and loves the stews. And so I have a great, great variety of both. Next category, vegetables. And what's my favorite vegetable to can? It would be tomatoes. Crushed tomatoes, tomato sauce, any kind of tomatoes. And it's really my favorite if those tomatoes come from my garden. Yeah, I know, you're right. A tomato is really a fruit, but I consider it in the vegetable category. Definitely my favorite. But you know what? I don't really can much else for vegetables. I do have some canned beets downstairs, and I open them occasionally. Again, family not big into beets, but I don't like canned beans. Canned corn would be great, but again, just as easy for me to freeze it. So generally what I do with vegetables from my garden is freeze them, because I think that often captures the closest to fresh taste as opposed to canning them. Now, I have tried canning potatoes, and I wasn't really happy with the results. To me, they tasted like those, you ever see that can and it has those little Irish potatoes in it? To me, it tasted about the same as that, and that is not a great tasting potato. I love potatoes. I mean, on my father's side, my grandparents, his parents, came straight over from Ireland, so believe me, we've always eaten a lot of potatoes. But to me, that again just doesn't taste as good as fresh. Or what I like to do is dehydrate the potatoes, and I can add those to my soup and stew. And to me, the dehydrated potatoes taste much more like potatoes than do canned potatoes. Again, probably on the other channel, somebody's going to say their favorite thing to can is potatoes. So it depends on your taste buds, I guess. Next category, fruit. Okay, and I can a lot of fruit, between peaches and apple slices, but something I tried after Jarred Up January this year was pineapple in apple juice. And this was something that I believe Needy Homesteader canned in the Jarred Up January. And you know what? It's fantastic. I mean, the juice is great. That pineapple with the apple makes just a fantastic juice. You just drink it right up. But the pineapple is also very good. So this is one of my favorite fruits to can. And I also like the little mandarin oranges. I mean, can you see that? How pretty it is? Yes, it's time consuming because you have to get all the white pithy stuff out or it turns bitter. But again, the juice is great in this and it makes a great presentation. So these are my two favorite fruits. And I don't really have a fruit that I wouldn't can again. I've been happy with all the canning of my fruits, but those were just my favorites. And my last category is juice. And I have a steam juicer and I have many videos on it. And I love to juice. And I juice anything from rhubarb to grapes and apples and peaches. I have a lot of pints and quarts of juice that I collected myself and canned. But what's my favorite? It has to be grape juice. This is so rich and it's also very good for you. It has a lot of vitamins in it, minerals. And again, I grow my own grapes, but I also get extra so I can have enough of this all year long. It's my absolute favorite. And for juices, in the past, I've also done crabapple juice, which we have a big crabapple tree out there, and it gets the little tiny marble size crabapples, and I've made juice from it. And that is a juice that you do add quite a bit of sugar to when you're actually making it up. I actually can all of these without sugar. In my grape juice, I don't add any at all when I'm drinking it. But with the crabapple, you probably, and the rhubarb, you probably need to add quite a bit of sugar. But the crabapple is fine if you want to make a crabapple jelly. But what I've found is, you know, when I used to can, I was big into jams and jellies, and I really enjoyed that. Well, you know, your kids get older, it seems like everybody is watching their waistline, and I just found that even though I like to can them, I was not actually using them much, and our family wasn't eating them. I was giving away as gifts, and who knows what the person who got them, are they still on their shelf? So I don't do crabapple juice anymore because I'm not making the jelly. So that's kind of mine for all my different categories. And it really is individual. All of us taste things a little bit different. We care a little bit about appearance, the texture of something, the smell of something, and we can be turned off by canning or absolutely love it. So I would love to hear down below what's your one favorite thing to can and what's your thing that you will never ever can again. Please comment below. So I want you to go to each of the channel in the links down below, those channels that are in this collaboration, and watch what they love to can and what they won't can again. I think we'll find it very illuminating and, let's admit it, fun. So thank you for watching this video, and as always, please share the knowledge.